Go to Santa Rosa in California and speak to the military affairs analyst, Brendan Kearney, who's a retired colonel with the U.S. Marine Corps. Colonel, thank you so much indeed for your time. How has Ukraine managed to keep this offensive going on two different fronts? Isn't it fighting a much bigger force?
It is fighting a bigger force, but they've got the momentum. They have command and control in terms of an effective one, as opposed to an ineffective Russian command and control system. The Ukrainians have got the initiative. They've got the logistics. They now are equipped with better weapons. So really, the Ukrainians are taking advantage of all these individual aspects of a road to success. But on top of that, they're willing to fight and they're willing to win. And the Russians have clearly shown for the last months they are not.
Yeah, well, certainly the Ukrainians are saying that the Russians are demoralized. Sergei Shoigu, the defense minister, says out of the 300,000 who are going to be mobilized, already 200,000 have been. What difference will those extra soldiers make? And do you think we're going back into Russian history here, which has shown that whatever conflict Russia is involved in, one way that it deals with the challenge is just to keep sending troops and happily, almost, it seems, letting them die on the battlefield?
I agree with your historical assessment. The problem here is that in modern warfare, it's so much different than what was occurring even as late as 1945 on the Eastern Front in Russia's advances into Germany. What we have now are essentially untrained or poorly trained individuals or units that lack cohesion that are going to be fed into a meat grinder. The big difference is that the sheer destructive power of the weapons the Ukrainians have it's not going to make a difference for the Russians, where historically they were able to make a difference. I just don't believe it's going to make a difference this time, other than that unfortunately, their graveyards are going to be filled with young and old Russians, and their hospitals with casualties suffering extraordinary damage to their body.
Brendan, I don't know if you were hearing that report that we got out of our correspondent from Kiev. Rahul ended there about the fear of the use of tactical nuclear weapons by the Russians. What is it about the Russian doctrine of using nuclear weapons that's so different to that of many other countries?
The Russians have a decentralized doctrine in the sense that once Putin says you can use them, then he's hands off, and the Russian military would then go ahead and use them essentially at will. That's entirely different from the U.S. and the Western system, where it's very, very closely controlled. The targeting would be closely controlled by our political leadership. But the tactical nuclear weapons are not a panacea. They're very, very weather sensitive. They're best used against concentrations of your target forces. And if the Ukrainians keep themselves well spread out, well dispersed, it's going to be very, very difficult for the Russians to target military forces, unless they want to get even further into atrocities and then target major cities where the tactical nuclear weapons could be of some utility.
Brendan, really, really interesting analysis. Thank you so much indeed for sharing it with us. Brendan Kearney, formerly of the U.S. Marine Corps. Thank you.